Good evening. This is the regular board meeting of November 14th, 2024. It is now 4:06 and we'll begin our roll call. Mary?
President Cortese,
Here.
Vice President Joe,
Here.
Clerk Lake,
Here.
Member Chavez,
Here.
Member Herrera.
Here.
Thank you.
We do have one member of the public who would like to provide public comment. And I have a little spiel I have to read first. Members of the public may participate and comment as follows. In-person public comment may be made in person in the boardroom by filling out a public speaker request form located at the entrance of the meeting room. Participants on Zoom may raise their virtual hand to request to speak and offer comment in real time. You will have 2 minutes to speak. You may also submit comments electronically, online, or during the meeting with a 1,000 character limit by accessing the agenda link to the form on the district's homepage. Please reference the agenda number in your written comment. Please note regular and special meetings of the Board of Trustees and board study sessions are streamed live on meeting nights and are also available for viewing the day after the meeting by accessing the district's YouTube channel listed on the district's webpage at ESUHSD.org under the quick links section. The board is not able to respond to items that are not on the agenda or any personnel issues. Your comment will be read into the record and will be directed to the superintendent and/or appropriate staff member for response. Interpretation of this meeting in Spanish and Vietnamese can be heard by accessing the link and following the instructions shown on the agenda and the district's website. And this evening, we have one guest speaker who would like to speak on item 901, which we will hear at probably 6:15, but you're here now, so let's hear you. Just come up to the mic, turn it on, state your name, and then you have 2 minutes to speak.
Hi, good afternoon. For the record, my name is Jose Silva. I am the principal at Luis Valdez Leadership Academy. I'm here on behalf of the school to show appreciation for your support. Back on October 22nd, the school was recognized at City Hall for giving the commendation award. And after that event, we went to the school and had a celebratory event. Mr. Valdez was present. Also present was Board Vice President Doe, Board Clerk Lay, and a member Herrera. So for that, thank you for being there for us and showing your support and being there to celebrate that commendation recognition that we had. So I just came to say thank you for that.
Oh, congratulations. Thank you
Thank you.
for saying thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I thought this was a different item, but that we always, we're always pleased to hear thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Okay,
Have a good evening.
okay, thank you.
Thank you. I also want to recognize that our Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources, Ginny David, was also there. So
Okay, fantastic. There being no further actions in front of the board, we're going to recess to closed session. Okay, good evening. We are going to begin. Welcome to our board meeting. We're going to begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. So please stand and join me. All right. Again, welcome to the regular board meeting of November 14th, 2024. Members of the public, please submit your public comment as follows. In-person public comment may be made in person in the boardroom by filling out a public speaker request form located at the entrance of the boardroom. And gold is for adults and the yellowish color is for students. And that's because we hear the students first so they can get on with their evening and back to their other commitments. You may raise, if participants on Zoom may raise their virtual hand to request to speak and offer comment in real time. You will have 2 minutes to speak. You may also submit comments electronically online before or during the meeting with a 1,000 character limit by accessing the agenda link to the form on the district's homepage. Please reference the agenda item number in your written comment. Please note, regular and special meetings of the Board of Trustees and board study sessions are streamed live on meeting nights and are also available for viewing the day after the meeting by accessing the district's YouTube channel listed on the district's webpage at esuhsd.org under the Quick Links section. The board is not able to respond to items that are not on the agenda or any personnel issues. Your comment will be read into the record and will be directed to the superintendent and/or the appropriate staff member for response. Interpretation of this meeting in Spanish and Vietnamese can be heard by accessing the link and following these instructions shown on the agenda and the district's website. So now we move on to item 5. Are we asking for, are any items being asked to be removed from the agenda this evening?
There are none.
Okay, thank you. Nothing under 6, and so now we'll move to item 701. Katie has a report of our Student Governing Board.
Hi, everyone. So last Tuesday, Perkins Eastman presented to SGB about the facilities master plan, and us students were able to single out the best aspects of our campuses and the most pressing issues there. The new student unions, music buildings were what students appreciated the most, but we also agreed on many issues as well, pointing out bathrooms and outdated classroom and sports facilities. Across all our campuses, these are the most prevalent, and we hope that they are addressed in the master plan being drafted. Additionally, with only one more SGB meeting of this calendar year, our group is wrapping up committee proposals and ideas, which is our main focus going into 2025. Thank you.
Thank you, Katie. All right, now we're moving on to item 801. Superintendent or board members may request that items considered considered, discussed, or acted out of order indicated on the agenda. Do we have anything we want to move?
No items for reconsideration.
Okay, thank you. 802, consideration, discussion, and or action to ratify waiver of facility use fees and limitation on total time per board policy 1330. Give a quick explanation, Superintendent.
Yes, earlier this year, Vietnamese American organization community festival was held at Yerba Buena High School. Mr. Doe had been in conversations, or board member Doe was in conversations with the organization and is asking to use his facilities use waiver. Each board member has one per school year. And so that is the request that's being made today. It is retroactive. And so part of that is also waiving the retroactive nature of the event. We've checked with council, and the council has affirmed that this is an appropriate use.
A motion by Chavez, second by Lay. Katie, how do you vote?
Aye.
There is public comment on this issue.
Okay. Very good.
Public comment by community member H. Nguyen. Honorable trustees, as a member of the community, this item brings me great concern. Your policy on this item reads, quote, "The requesting board member must submit the request to waive the fees for board approval at an open session board meeting in advance of the planned event," end quote. I took time to research your minutes on facility sponsorships by the board and do not see a request to approve an after the fact event. As a community member, I am concerned as to why Mr. Doe is the only trustee who does not follow written policy. No trustee should be above the rules and regulations of Eastside. That is the end of online public comment.
Okay, thank you for the comment. And we did speak with, the administration did speak with legal counsel, and we also acknowledge that this is not a precedent-setting vote. And so we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Katie already voted aye. Okay, then that's unanimous. Thank you. 803, discussion and or action to adopt resolution 2024/2025-09, authorizing the issuance and sale of general obligation bonds 2016 election Series D in the principal amount of not to exceed 56 million, according to preliminary official statement and bond purchase agreement, and approving related documents and official actions. I'll turn this over to Mr. Quinn.
Thank you, Madam President. We have Mr. Del Scott here, who will speak on this item. And Mr. Adams as well, excuse me.
Good evening. I have asked Chick Adams, who's counsel on the bonds, to join me in case there are any legal questions. I have no presentation. We're really here for any questions the board may have. You've been through this a few times. Assuming you pass the resolution, we would anticipate taking this into the market in early January, and then the funds would be available a few weeks after that. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions or turn over any legal questions to Mr. Adams.
I just have a kind of a question of curiosity. So are we selling these bonds per a schedule, or just the market conditions are right, or what's our?
The
motivation
schedule
here?
comes from the business office. They come to us months before and say, we believe we will need funds at a certain point in time. And then we begin the preparation and look at the market. And at that point in time, make a recommendation as to the timing. So this will provide ongoing funding for projects that are in the pipeline or are being considered.
And then to further add to that, as far as market-wise, this is not a ideal time for the market because in the November election, there was a series of bonds that was passed throughout the state. And so by us getting ahead of the sales of it, we're getting ahead of the wave, so to speak. So we'll have more favorable terms as the other districts are going to come online later on in the spring.
Okay. Very good. Any colleagues, any questions?
Yes, if I can follow up on that question, that line of reasoning by Mr. Nguyen. We have seen a number of action by the Federal Reserve to lower interest rate. Do you anticipate this is something that might affect our sales moving forward? Because if interest rate continue to lower, does that not effectively reduce our cost of borrowing?
It does, although interest rates for tax exempt bonds such as yours are already pretty low. So I don't think there's going to be a huge difference going down. It's more the problem of if there's a huge amount of bonds that come on the market, the rates go up.
The supply, you're referring to the supply.
Exactly. And that's what we're worried about.
Right.
And why we're moving this up a little earlier than it normally be.
When you anticipate that the other bond, for lack of a better term, the additional supply of bond might be looking to the market so that competing with ourselves?
Looking back historically after a presidential election, that has occurred in the second quarter or late in the first quarter. There's been a bump. Now, have other people figured this out and they're trying to get in early? I think so. I'm anticipating that happening earlier, maybe in February. That's why I'd like to get these bonds into the market in January, if possible.
What rate do you anticipate that we might be looking at?
I think you'll be in the mid fours. That's my bet.
So you don't anticipate the reductions on what the Federal Reserve may make movement, would have a significant impact in reducing our cost of borrowing?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
You don't anticipate the reduction in rate that the Federal Reserve may make in the next few months as much as you think that the impact from the increase in supply would outweigh that benefit?
That's correct. That's correct.
Thank you.
I have a quick question. So this Series D for general obligation bond, is that including all of those projects that we have right now for facility and any other project that we including in this GOV?
I would have to turn that question over to your finance officer.
So your question was that including in the current projects now or?
Yeah. Is this going to be a current project now, or is that in the past project that we have not finished or we have not completed?
It's going to be in future projects that have been allocated. That's part
Okay.
of the project list. But as far as the current projects that are already underway, those have already been budgeted and the allocation has been, the funding has been allocated already.
Okay, all right, that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, then we just need a motion and a second.
Approval.
I heard Chavez and Doe at the same time. Okay, Chavez.
Yes, Chavez.
Okay, all right. Moved by Chavez, second by Doe. Katie, how do you vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that's unanimous. Thank you. And thank you to Mr. Adams and Mr. Scott for being here. Okay, moving on to 9.01. Oh, I have a little thing to read. Okay, this gets very formal right now. We will now hold a public hearing scheduled at approximately 6:25 p.m. on the charter renewal petition submitted by ACE Charter Schools for ACE Charter High School. So this is now an opportunity to speak. And we do have speakers on this item.
So if maybe we could introduce it first and then allow the
Sure.
school to be able, they have a 10-minute presentation that they want to do before we take public speakers.
Yes, perfect.
Thanks. Okay. So it's been a little while since we've had charter renewals since before the pandemic because of lots of reasons. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to introduce this item and remind everybody about how the process works for charter renewals briefly. So we received a renewal petition on October 31st from ACE Charter High School. By Ed Code 47605, we have to hold a public hearing within 60 days of receipt of the petition. So tonight is the public hearing for that. And within 90 days, we have to hold the decision meeting. That can be extended 30 days upon mutual agreement. We don't need the 30-day extension for this because we're going to have the decision meeting at the January 23rd meeting. Staff findings now by the same Ed Code, findings and recommendations have to be posted 15 days prior to that decision meeting. So staff will be posting that on the front page of our website on January 8th. 47607 and 47607.2 govern charter school renewals. And it is what's created those tiers, the high, middle, and low tiers for charter school renewal. ACE Charter High School falls in the middle tier of renewal, which makes them eligible for a 5-year renewal upon board approval. And if the board and the public are interested, the actual complete petition, renewal petition for ACE Charter High School is uploaded as an attachment to this item. And we have a hard copy out front. And with that, I'd like to introduce the ACE admin team who have a short presentation.
Thank you for that. And welcome.
Thank you. So good evening, esteemed board members, superintendent, ESU staff, ACE community. It is a pleasure to be here this evening. My name is Kennedy Hilario. I'm the CEO for ACE Charter Schools. And before we proceed, I want to just kind of ask for a show of hands. Those who are with ACE Charter School, please raise your hand. Just, si usted está con ACE, por favor, levante la mano. Bien alta. Okay, muy bien. Thank you for your support. Gracias por su apoyo. So we are here okay, who controls the? Perfect. All right. So next slide, please. The mission for ACE is very simple. We are here to support the students who are struggling to gain the skills and the willpower to succeed in college and beyond. And one of the things that we're really proud of is that we are partners with Eastside Union. And so we will service the students who are having trouble connecting in their current schools. And then through the partnership and the relationship that we form, we help these students kind of develop a college going mindset to grow and to develop so they can be successful. Next, please. We have 4 core values that really are the underpin to everything that we do. We believe that our students can thrive and can succeed. We also take full responsibility for their success and for their failures. And then we focus every day, make sure that they grow a little bit every single day. And then we do all this through relationship. So those are the core values. The high school values specifically are respect, pride, and ganas. Next, please. And so now I'm going to pass it on to one of our super excellent teachers, Mr. Tejeda, who's going to talk about what makes ACE unique.
Hello, good evening. My name is Miguel Tejeda, and this is my 7th year here at Ace Charter High School. Just to share a little bit about myself, currently I have my master's degree in educational leadership. I also have my teaching license that I was able to clear, and also I was a Teach for America alum. I just want to start off by sharing an alarming statistic that I found from a nonprofit organization that's called Latinos for Education. They did extensive research and they found that 25% of students in the United States are Latino. At the same time, there's only 8% of Latino teachers. And from that number, there's only 2% of Latino male teachers. So myself being a Latino male, I feel an immense honor and privilege to be here in front of you just to speak about what makes ACE unique. We cement ourselves, our North Star is relationships. So for example, if you look at the middle of the picture, you have Marali. Those are also scholar athletes there. And Miss Marali, I've seen her siblings. For example, her 2 older brothers are in college. One of them has come back because he appreciates ACE and he serves as a campus supervisor. And I feel that through mentorship, through personal connection, through representation, when you see yourself reflected in those in front of you, it definitely makes a positive difference. So for example, with Marali and our positive relationship and my closeness with her family, I feel like I'm her 3rd sibling. So the students we serve, so as we can see, sometimes our students do struggle with behavior, but I attribute that to the teenage male brain sometimes. And we struggle with academics too, right? And that comes with giving presentations as well as studying for tests. But at ACE, we pride ourselves in mentorship. So for example, we have a college seminar class, and it's sort of a study hall. We have lessons too that our counseling team helps us to organize, where we teach them skills that are more than just academics. It teaches them how to be leaders, how to be critical thinkers. And through that mentorship, we see our students from freshman year all the way to senior year become a little bit more ready for the world, whether that means them going to college or them choosing their dream career, ideally both. Sometimes we've had students who have come from public district schools and have told us that they feel a little bit more comfortable at Ace Charter High School due to the fact that we have smaller classroom sizes, due to the fact that we have teachers that are sold on our mission, that even though you might be struggling, you won't be lost in the crowd because we're gonna have your back. So yes, we have our tough moments, we have hard times, but that relentless hope that we can do better, we always hold on to. So the students that we serve, yes, they can be labeled in this particular way, which is that some of our students have special education, some of them are multilingual learners, as well as the fact that some of our students are low income, but our students are so much more than just that, like I just mentioned. We have a fabulous counseling team that helps our students prepare for college. A lot of our kids are going to be first generation. So the fact that they have first generation college counselors there makes the world a difference. That looks like them, that represents them. We have an amazing SPED learning team. We're paraprofessionals, learning specialists that do the accommodations, the modifications so that students can access the student work. And finally, with our students being low income, We make sure that even though money might be a factor, we're still going to take you on college trips. We're still going to have functions in community where we can eat together, we can have fun together, we can enjoy things and money not be that issue. So based off of our student demographics, as you can see, we predominantly teach students of color, but through our lessons in English and history, by also teachers that have their license, we're able to explore the diversity that makes up all our students. We speak a lot of different languages in our school. And even, for example, with our Latino population, that represents a lot of different countries, a lot of different states too. We're not just all Californian. So in our school, we definitely pride ourselves in making sure that we celebrate diversity, and we do our best, even with our student-run newspaper, to shed light on all communities, because our students are the rich fabric that represents San Jose. So thank you so much for listening to me. I feel very grateful, and I'm going to pass the mic to I'm just not quite yet. But thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Tejeda. And I like to make sure that I look at everyone here, but it's, this is it's a challenge, right? Because it's like a 180. But I just want to talk really quick about another thing that's unique about ACE is the family engagement. The students are our love, our soul, but so are our parents. And we kind of take them through a trajectory of 3 phases, right? In phase 1, we begin to develop the trust. And we do that because we meet them wherever they are. So we go to their homes, we go to the parks, we go to the churches, we go to the supermarkets, to the laundromats, wherever they are, we're there. And then we engage them with authenticity, and by having a lot of events and a lot of functions. And so through time, we develop a community. And once we have that community and that trust, then we ask our parents to step up to leadership, because we know that they're the secret ingredient to making our students successful. Without them, we can't do this. So that's when we ask them to join, and they become part of the PLT, the Parent Leadership Team. We have a parent leadership team in every single school, and they're just an amazing part of the ACE culture. Now I'm going to pass it on to an amazing school leader, Ms. Sawyers.
Hi, my name is Brandy Sawyers. I am a school leader at ACE. I've started at ACE Empower about 9 years ago as a science teacher, and I love ACE. And here I am today working. All right, so one of the things that makes ACE special is our college success program. What's amazing about ACE is that we don't only get them to college, we get them through college. So we have an alumni team that stays with them every step of the way, whether that's going beyond their classes and helping them pick out what's next, but they also help them with jobs, with housing, and they make sure that we don't lose them over the summer, because as you know, sometimes that summer before the school year starts, we get a little nervous. And we sometimes want to take a step back. At ACE, we make sure we're taking the step forward with you. Our college going rate is at 68%. And as Mr. Tejeda said, we have a huge Hispanic population. So this is matching what we have. The next slide, please. Thank you. And then one more. So in ACE's continuous improvement, you can go to the next slide. Our school has made significant strides in student success and school culture. We've seen improved overall attendance and reductions in first period tardies, thanks to a focus on strong academic structures. We've created a more consistent and data-driven learning environment by implementing GLAD strategies, a multi-tiered support system, and a classroom rubric. Our WASC accreditation renewal validated the effectiveness of our teaching protocols, and a focus on student and parent relationships has fostered a safer and more trusting atmosphere. Restorative justice practices have further contributed to a positive school culture, supporting both academic and personal growth. The next slide. Thank you. We are committed to continued improvement and growth at our school. We've sustained professional development, engagement strategies, and language acquisition, ensuring stronger support for English language learners and fostering a culture of active participation. Our reorganization of the counseling program now provides a comprehensive mental health, academic, college, and career support through a Tier 1 MTSS framework. We're also enhancing our Spanish program with the focus on immersion and celebrating linguistic diversity while investing in our math department to strengthen instruction. Additionally, we've created more leadership opportunities for both teachers and students, including bringing back our student greeters. Next slide. One more. Thank you. So we're proud to share that our school has made significant progress in key areas. Our suspension rate is just 2.4%, and we've maintained a 0% expulsion rate. Since the pandemic, attendance has improved to 87.2%, up from 81.3% in the 2020-21 school year. And the chronic absenteeism has decreased to 43.8%, down from 53.7%. These positive trends reflect our ongoing commitment to student engagement and support. Thank you. Credo reports emphasize ACE's commitment to promoting educational equity. ACE schools are recognized as gap busters, effectively working to close the opportunity gap and ensure all students have equal access to the quality education. The data presented in our following graphs serve as a concrete evidence of ACE's ongoing efforts to reduce the achievement gap and support student success. Next slide. Thank you. Over the past 3 years, our students' performance on the ELA SBAC assessment has shown significant and consistent growth. For 11th grade students, we saw an increase from 13% to 19% in a year, and a remarkable jump to 33% in 2024. English learners showed similar progress, growing from 14% to 17%, and again, reaching 33% in 2024. Most notably, students with disabilities who are at just 4% in 2022 and in 2023 experienced a substantial improvement, reaching 25% in 2024. These results reflect our commitment to inclusive and effective educational practices, and the data clearly shows that our efforts are leading to meaningful growth across diverse student populations. We're confident that this trajectory will continue. Next. Over the past 3 years, our students have made steady progress on the CAST assessment, reflecting our commitment to academic growth. For all students, we saw growth from our 0% to 6% and 13% in 2024. Similar for general education students, the growth was from 0 to 5% and 14% in 2024. English learners showed gradual improvement, rising from 0 to 1 and then 3%. Students with disabilities saw a marked increase, jumping from 0 to 7%, though slightly dropping to 5% in 2024. Overall, this upward trend demonstrates the effectiveness of our efforts to support diverse student needs. In 2023, ACE High School achieved an outstanding 100% UC-CSU eligibility rate, far surpassing other districts and the state. While the Eastside Union High School District has 55%, Santa Clara County had 65%, and the state average was just 51%. This is a dramatic improvement from ACE's 71% eligibility rate in 2022. While Eastside, Santa Clara, and the state showed modest changes, ACE's growth of 29 percentage points from 2022 to 2023 highlights the effectiveness of our college readiness initiatives and our counseling team. This exceptional progress demonstrates our commitment to preparing all students for higher education. We have seen impressive growth on our STAR assessments, with approximately 1/3 of students exceeding 1 year's growth annually in both math and reading. In 2022-23 school year, 37% of our students exceeded expectations in reading and 31% in math, while 60% met or exceeded in both subject areas. In the 2023-24 school year, the percentage of students exceeded expectations increased slightly in reading to 39%, while it decreased slightly to 29% in math. However, the overall percentage of students meeting or exceeding expectations grew significantly in math, rising from 60% to 65%, while it did decrease slightly in reading from 60 to 57. These results reflect both strong growth and targeted improvements, reinforcing our commitment to academic excellence and continued success of our students. We are thrilled to share our continued success, highlighted by a 6-year term of accreditation from WASC. Our students' academic progress is evident, as we've significantly improved our ELA SBAC data with the percentage of students meeting or exceeding state standards, rising from 13% to 33% in 2024. Our college-going rates reflect this upward trend, with 71% of the class of 2022 attending college, including 31% enrolled in UC or CSU schools, well above the district average. For the classes of 2023 and 2024, our internal college rates are 77% and 70% respectively. Top college destinations include San Jose State, UC Merced, and De Anza. Thank you for your consideration. I hope that you can see that ACE is a special place, and we are fighting for our kids and trying to do what's best for them. And we hope we have your support. Thank you.
Okay, Kirsten, the formal presentation is done, and now we just hear from comments, and then this item will come back in January. Is that correct? So there's no board action this evening. Okay, very good. Just getting my P's and Q's straight here. All right. So we do have a number of public speakers on this item. First call student Jared Delgado, and then so while Jared is walking up, I'm going to call the next two people if you could line up behind. Larry Kiegler and Amy Eli, please. And then Jared, is the mic on?
Hello.
Oh, there we got it. Okay, so just say your name and you've got 2 minutes.
Hello, my name is Jared Delgado Diaz. It's a pleasure to be up here presenting my school. My name is Jared Delgado Diaz. I graduated from ACE Charter High School in 2023. I'm currently studying at Evergreen, and my goal is to graduate and attend San Jose State. ACE has motivated me and my brothers, in many ways. The teachers and ACE are always motivating me, supporting me, even though I'm not there. Even though I graduated in 2023, they continue to encourage me. I wanted to represent myself and my fellow graduates. To hope to provide 2 of my brothers that are currently one in ACE Charter High School, which he's in senior, and one in ACE in Powell, which he is in 5th grade. I love them, and I would love them to share their experience like I am right now. It's a pleasure. I have been in ACE for 9 years, not only as a student, but able to give back to my community. During the pandemic, I was an ACE recruiter. I hope during families and with resources to continue learning. I worked as a currently I'm an ACE inspire, returning from my hope and the way they helped me out in ACE. As a para on one-on-one with a kid as an ACE mission. My experience at ACE has been very incredible, despite my special needs, because I have teachers who generally supported me and motivated me. They wanted me to go to college and just asked me I wanted to pursue my path myself, and I'm very proud that I graduated from high school and they found me. The way they supported me in my 9 years in ACE Esperanza in high school was very incredible. I came from McKinley, and it was a great experience, and it was one of the best experiences I ever had in ACE. They have supported it in many ways, not only me, but also my fellow brothers. And I'm just grateful to be here, and thank you for listening to me. And I'm grateful to be here, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to be here. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Larry Kiegler. I'm a board member at ACE. I'm also a resident of East San Jose and a resident of the East Side Union High School District. And congratulations on the partial tax. Yes. I joined the ACE board in 2020 because I'm passionate about seeing that all of our kids have the education they need to succeed in the world. And more than that, I want them to be able to dream dreams for their future. And I want them to have the education and tools that will allow them to hopefully achieve those dreams. On the board, I'm a practicing CPA, so part of my responsibility is to oversee or help oversee finances, and I chair the audit committee. ACE High School is an amazing place. It succeeds because of an incredible group of people, teachers, counselors, administrators, staff, parents, student leaders, yes, even board members. We work together, we support each other, all in the effort to have our kids succeed. I want to highlight one individual on our team. That individual is our CEO, Kennedy Hilario. I choose him because it's important that you know who leads us. Kennedy came to us 2.5 years ago, succeeded our founder, Greg Lippman, and I'm happy to report that with Kennedy at the helm, our mission is alive and well. He's passionate, he's mission-driven, he's amazingly even-tempered in crises small and large. Don't quite understand it, but he manages it. And he brings a business acumen that is really more characteristic of a corporate CEO. He is comfortable raising $1 million from donors. He's happiest, however, meeting with parents weekly at a coffee clutch.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Kiekler.
Got it.
Thank you. Okay. So after Amy, could we have line up Kimberly Diaz-Martinez and Uriel Perez Mevaldo? Yes, okay. If you could line up behind, that would be great. Okay, go ahead, Amy.
Hey, hello, my name is Amy Ely. I am an English teacher at Ace Charter High School. This is my 5th year working with them, but I am not speaking about myself. I'm speaking on behalf of one of our students because our students wear many hats in life. They're athletes and employees and students. So this student couldn't make it tonight, but she did write a speech that I will be reading for her. Hello, my name is Mariana Cuevas Montanoro, sorry. I am currently a 12th grade student at Ace Charter High School. As a 9th and 10th grader, I felt like I fit in. I had teachers from my middle school that had come to the high school, like our athletic director and dean of students. So they helped me make the transition from middle school to high school feel comfortable. I also played volleyball and basketball ever since I was a freshman. Academically, I could have done better because of the friend group I had been in. I was very involved with helping with student events like graduation and our leadership class. Before the start of my junior year, I decided to enroll into Willow Glen High School because I wanted to see the difference between a charter school and a bigger public school. I had thought that they would have more to offer. In the first week of school, I saw how different it was at Willow Glen with their schedules and how quick assignments were coming with little to no support. I felt out of place because students came from wealthier families who had been playing their respective sports for many years. So when I tried out for volleyball, I felt very out of place. I ultimately decided to come back to ACE after 2 months because I knew I would be able to continue my career with sports, have the support that I needed, and be able to create bonds with other students without feeling out of place. At Willow Glen, it was harder for me to find out about their resources. It felt harder to collaborate and have one-on-ones with teachers because it did not feel like the effort was being made from the teacher. It was all on the student. At ACE, the teachers make sure to reach out and make an effort to check in, whether it is about grades, my home life, or my mental status. At ACE, it feels like a family and a second home where I would stay after school just to converse and get extra help I needed. My older sister graduated from ACE in 2023, and sorry about that.
Are you done? Or are you close
There's
to
about
done?
2 more sentences.
Okay, quickly read the 2 sentences. Yeah, okay.
Now, as a senior, I know that I'm able to rely on ACE for my future in school and life. I have grown a lot in my academics and socio-emotionally with my school community. Moving forward, I will go to a community college and work to become an ultrasound technician.
Thank you.
Hello. My name is Kimberly Diaz-Martinez. I'm a current high school senior attending Ace Charter High School. Before my enrollment at ACE, I attended Independence High School of Eastside Union High School District. During my time there, my grades significantly dropped. In classes I have always received A's turned into C's. I seeked help. I spoke with the teacher, the counselor, and no assistance was given to me. Coming back from online learning to in-person was a large change. It had been a year and a half of distance learning. My first year back into in-person teaching was ninth grade, freshman year. Since the beginning of my school years, I had always been a student who does not think twice of asking for help or clarification. The way the teachers treated me at Independence made me doubt whether to even ask them for help because of their negligence to the students. The teachers don't seem to care. When a student's grades are decreasing, they don't take the time to re-explain the topic when the student is confused. I would ask the teachers for extra help to simplify the task when it confused me. All they would say, and I quote, was, "Look at the assignment on Google Classroom. The instructions are on there. Just read them." And I was literally asking them to explain the instructions to me, to elaborate on them so I could understand them. The teacher would post assignments and expect them to be done by the next class time the other day, but they would not even announce there were assignments posted. Somehow we were supposed to read their mind. After my first semester of high school at Independence, I decided to transfer to A's. I started at A's in January of 2022. Second semester of freshman year. Instantly, my grades peaked. They went up. I started to be proud of myself and my abilities again. I realized that the big school was not the fit for me. A smaller school provided me with more assistance and even more opportunities. At ACE, I have connected with the staff. They all know me. I know them. The teachers and staff are kind enough to check up on each student individually. Extra support is provided by the teachers, counselors, and learning specialists. I have taken most opportunities provided by the school. I am a ambassador of DCAC for the DCAC advisor on campus. Through the same program, I have taken a summer class at UC Berkeley, to which to which I felt prepared to take from the support teachers have provided for me. I passed the class and received full
Can you
credit.
kindly
I have
wrap up your
particip-
comments, please? Can you wrap up your comments, please?
I only have 2 sentences left. I have participated in extracurricular activities available like leadership, basketball, movie club, and the creation of the yearbook. I have closely bonded with the staff and appreciate them. I have felt supported at ACE, and I feel prepared for what is to come after high school. Thank you.
Okay. Before you go, could I please have Teresa Guzman and Luz Hernandez please line up? Go ahead.
Hola, mi nombre es Uriel Perez. Good afternoon. My name is Uriel Perez, and I was the class of 2017. During my time at ACE, I wasn't the model student. I struggled academically and often found myself in the office. I struggled, but ACE's culture of optimism and college readiness transformed my mindset. By my junior year, thanks to encouragement from teachers and staff like Ms. Cervantes, Raquel, Ms. Garcia, and Ms. Julian, I began to see myself as a scholar with a future beyond high school. ACE's support did not end at graduation. Through my journey from enrolling at San Jose City College to transferring to UCLA, ACE remained by my side, guiding me as the first of my family to attend college. Graduating from UCLA was a milestone, but it wasn't what I learned about perseverance, community, and giving back that truly changed my life. Now I'm back at ACE as a co-teacher teaching math. Every day I aim to be the kind of mentor that Ms. Cervantes, Raquel, Ms. Julian, and Ms. Garcia were for me. ACE is more than a school. It's a lifeline for students like me, los estudiantes que necesitan apoyo y una oportunidad para salir adelante. I pursue my dream of earning a master's in public health and urban planning at UC Berkeley. I remain committed to the ACE mission. I stand before you not only as an ACE alum, but as a testament to the ACE, the impact ACE has on students who need the extra support to reach their potential. I urge you, board members, to renew ACE's charter and allow this school to continue its transformative work. I am here today because of ACE, and I hope you will continue to believe in its mission to empower the next generation of leaders. Muchas gracias por su tiempo y consideración. Thank you.
Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Luz Hernández, soy padre líder. Me siento muy emocionada.
Soy padre líder de la preparatoria ACE. Mis hijos y yo llegamos hace 8 años de México y mis hijos no sabían el inglés. Miss García de inmediatamente nos buscó los recursos y los apoyos necesarios para que mis hijos aprendieran el idioma. Nosotros desde un principio nos hemos sentido bienvenidos a ACE. Mi hijo Carlos se graduó hace un año, está de la preparatoria y está en la Universidad de San José State. Mi hija aún sigue estudiando ahí y también, primeramente Dios, se irá a la universidad. Para mí y para mis hijos es más que una escuela, es como nuestra familia, que siempre nos ha estado dispuestos a ayudarnos y acogernos a mis hijos y a mí. Se han sentido seguros mis hijos desde que llegamos. Perdón. Integrados, los aceptamos no solo académico. Ya veo, yo me puse nerviosa. Los dos participan en la escuela, en los deportes, y mi hijo les ayuda a los niños al equipo de fútbol. Están dispuestos a ayudarlo como a él lo ayudaron. Nosotros hemos encontrado a una comunidad ACE. Muchas gracias por su apoyo. Y me puse nerviosa porque, una disculpa, yo no sabía leer ni escribir, pero gracias a la escuela ACE aprendí. Y me gustaría que me disculpe.
His mother has been a parent at ACE for His mother has been a parent at ACE for 8 years. She's had multiple students in attendance from the moment that they arrived that felt included and that they were welcomed and brought in, not just academically, but also in the form of after-school supports. Her older child played soccer and her daughter continues at ACE. Her older son graduated a year ago and is now attending San Jose State, and she expects her other daughter to continue on a similar path. She mentions the welcoming culture, not just academically, but beyond that. But the reason she got the applause at the end is she said, "You're a little nervous. Before I attended ACE, I didn't know to read or write. And because of that, I have now done so, and I'm speaking tonight." So thank you.
You're hired.
Okay, Luis, before you continue, if we could get Margarita Garcia and Cintra Diaz to please line up. Thank you. Go ahead.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Teresa Guzmán. Soy integrante del grupo de padres líderes en la preparatoria ACE. Soy mamá de Tania. Ella está en el grado 10. Tenemos ya 6 años en ACE. Cuando llegamos a ACE, veníamos con mucho miedo porque nunca antes nuestra voz había sido escuchada ante tanto bullying que sufrió mi hija por su físico y sus necesidades especiales. Ella venía con mucha ansiedad y depresión, pero gracias a ACE hemos visto muchos cambios en mi hija. Ella recibe mucho apoyo en sus clases. Ella por primera vez se siente escuchada y vista. Ahora hace deportes y arte. Ya hasta se arregla para irse a la escuela, cosa que nunca lo hacía antes. Como papás, estamos muy orgullosos de ella, de los grandes cambios que sigue haciendo. Participa en la clase cada día más. Se mira y escucha muy feliz. Hasta nos dijo en la última reunión del IP que quiere ir a la Universidad de Harvard. Ahora sus grados son excelentes y ella es una persona nueva gracias y apoyo a todo el personal de ACE y al asistente principal que la motiva, al señor Moreno. Tania se siente más confidente y por primera vez está orgullosa de sí misma. Desde que llegamos a ACE, la señora García nos ha apoyado con los recursos que mi hija necesitaba dentro y fuera de la escuela y se ha asegurado que tengamos buena conexión y relación con la escuela. Mi esposo, mis hijas y yo estamos muy agradecidos con ellos. Desde que llegamos aquí, nos han tratado como que si fuéramos una familia. Yo en el grupo de padres líderes también recibo mucho apoyo y siempre estamos trabajando en algo para crear comunidad para nuestros hijos. Gracias por escuchar mi experiencia personal en ACE. Thanks.
This parent has had a student at ACE for 6 years. The mom was kind of worried about her education early because her daughter was often bullied and didn't feel heard. Upon arriving at ACE, they felt that they were listened to. They paused and they were getting the resources they needed. They also mentioned the fact that she started playing sports. Notices that her daughter now just looks happy, sounds happy, has great grades, and is eyeing Harvard as her destination after high school. But also that they're proud to be part of a parent organization that works together on projects to improve the school there. And it feels to them like an organized and working family.
Muy buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Margarita García. Soy miembro del grupo de padres líderes de ACE High School. Ya son 10 años que formo parte de la comunidad de ACE. Mis hijas comenzaron en el 2014 en ACE Inspire. Desde que llegamos a ACE nos hemos sentido como en familia. Siempre nos escuchan y nos entienden. Tengo 2 hijas graduadas de ACE High School. Una de ellas es su 3er año en la Universidad de Santa Cruz. La otra es su 2º año en San José State. Ellas siguen regresando a ACE para recibir apoyo con sus clases y también cuando necesitan apoyo para sus aplicaciones. Cuando necesitan algún consejo, ellas también siguen regresando con el personal de ACE. Mi hija, la más pequeña, Isabel, aún está estudiando en ACE High School en el 10 grado. Más que una escuela, ella siente que ACE es como su segundo hogar. Ella se pone muy contenta todos los días que va a la escuela. Ella antes era muy tímida y no participaba en clases. Ahora ella se siente ahora ella participa más en las actividades de la escuela, participa más en clases. Sus maestros dicen que está participando más. Participa en actividades extracurriculares después de escuela. Nos gustaría invitarlos a que nos visiten en nuestra escuela. Ya les hemos enviado algunos correos electrónicos extendiendo nuestra cordial invitación a que nos conozcan y formen parte de nuestra comunidad. Gracias por su tiempo y atención.
This parent has been with ACE for roughly 10 years. She has an older daughter that is in her 3rd year at the University of California in Santa Cruz, another student that's in the 2nd year at San Jose State, and currently has a 10th grader in ACE. She goes to school happy and is happy to be there, much because of the relationships that have established and the supports that she receives at ACE. She's happily participating in after-school activities. This parent also is part of the parent leadership group and has been active with them for quite a while.
Superintendent, could I remind you about our timer? I know, well, no, it's you're multitasking. It's okay, understood. Okay, so if I could get, are you Cynthia? Okay. Did we hear from Luz? We did, okay, thank you. And if I could get Virginia Mendez, Linda Murray, and Lily Batista to line up, that would be wonderful.
Buenas noches, mi nombre es Cintia Díaz, soy la presidenta del grupo de padres líderes de la preparatoria ACE. Tengo ya 9 años en las escuelas ACE. Esta noche vengo a representar a cientos de padres que no pudieron venir aquí. En este momento tengo un estudiante en la prepa, su nombre es Said, pertenece al equipo de soccer y él está muy motivado de ir a la universidad. Tengo mi otro hijo que es Jared, actualmente pues va a la Universidad de Evergreen y quiere pertenecer también a pasar de allí a la Universidad de San José. Igual que Jared, nosotros trabajamos en la pandemia como embajadores comunitarios, apoyando a nuestras familias, proporcionando recursos y tecnología para continuar con nuestra instrucción en línea. Tengo otro de mis hijos que está en ACE Empower, pero está en 5º grado, y también quisiera las mismas oportunidades que han tenido mis hijos en ACE para el futuro continuo de ellos. Todos mis hijos actualmente tienen IP y en ACE jamás han sido tratados de manera diferente. ACE es una escuela exclusiva que los incluye en todo y ellos han tenido apoyo total en sus materias y siguen motivados. a seguir estudiando, participando en actividades extracurriculares y asistir a la universidad, cosa que nunca antes hubiéramos pensado, mi familia y yo, de que por sus necesidades especiales. Para la gran mayoría de nuestros estudiantes 6 es como su hogar, su familia, al igual que para toda nuestra comunidad. Significa mucho para nosotros como padres por brindarles el apoyo académico, moral y personal que se les brinda a nuestros hijos. El grupo de padres líderes siempre estamos cerca apoyando y trabajando con la administración para estar atentos en lo que está sucediendo en la escuela y ayudar a crear un ambiente positivo y seguro para nuestros estudiantes y comunidad. De hecho, en el grupo de padres le mandamos un correo electrónico la semana pasada invitándolos a que vengan a visitarnos y reunirse con nosotros. Ojalá tengamos la oportunidad.
Can I ask you to wrap up your comments, please?
Ok, para cerrar, al igual que yo y cientos de los padres que estamos viendo y experimentando con nuestros hijos su crecimiento académico y personal, quisiéramos que todos los alumnos de nuestras secundarias y de nuestra comunidad se gradúen y vayan al colegio con el apoyo de nuestras escuelas EIS y el de todos ustedes también. Gracias por esperarnos y esperamos verlos pronto ya.
This last parent that spoke is also a member of the parent group, but is the president of the parent group and is representing some of the group members that were unable to attend tonight. She's had multiple children that have gone through ACE. And they've done wonderful things there, including going to soccer, played while the student was there and is now in college. There's another student that is attending Evergreen and also a fifth grader in the different ACE school. And looking to continue the opportunity for that student to grow and have the high school option as ACE as well. What's unique about this parent has said that all three of her students are students that have had an IEP, and that those students have been welcomed and not excluded out, but were able to stay after school and do other activities, get supports. All are planning for college. For her, this is a place, it's a home, a family, and a community. And as the adults on the leadership team, they're always working with administration to make sure that it's a safe place and forward going, and invite any of you all to visit and walk the campus with them whenever you'd like to. And we're wishing for ACE to continue so that all their students graduate and go to college, but also wishes the same for all Eastside students.
You go ahead.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Virginia Méndez, soy madre de 2 estudiantes de ACE, Mauricio en el 5º grado en ACE Empower, Ángel en el grado 10 en la preparatoria de ACE. Guadalupe se graduó el verano pasado, ahora asiste a la Universidad de San José. Desde que yo llegué a ACE, me sentí escuchada, apoyada, incluida, al igual que mis hijos, a pesar de sus necesidades especiales. En el proceso de la inscripción con mis hijos, conocí a la señora Marta García. Ella desde el primer momento me invitó a involucrarme y a participar en la educación de mis hijos. Tengo ya 7 años con ACE y pertenezco al grupo de padres líderes. En este grupo de padres líderes que siempre hemos estado colaborando y trabajando con nuestras escuelas para mantener una cultura y comunidad unida. Un ambiente positivo para nuestros estudiantes especial. Durante y después de la pandemia, los grupos de padres líderes fuimos claves para apoyar a uno de nuestros y a otros de los recursos que nos proveen nuestras escuelas, distribuyendo comida, acceso a y tecnología para nuestros hijos. Seguirán aprendiendo llamadas personales. Perdón. Para que nuestros hijos siguieran aprendiendo a llamadas personales, pero cómo estábamos y si necesitábamos algo. Él siempre estuvo al pendiente de nosotros como familias que somos. Esta noche estoy aquí con nuestra escuela para someter nuestra petición para la renovación y permiso de Chare y que nuestros hijos sigan teniendo su hogar como escuela donde ellos se sienten seguros y apoyados por todos sus maestros y personales. Mi compañera Cintia les mandó una invitación por correo. Esperemos verlos en la preparatoria para compartir con ustedes con más tiempos como lo hacemos en nuestra familia de IS. Gracias. Perdón.
His parents been involved in ACE for over 7 years. The fifth grader in attendance and a current 10th grader. Other student graduated last year and is attending San Jose State. Immediately upon arriving at ACE, they were invited to participate in the education of their child, even with an IEP. And they work together as part of the parent group to maintain the school's unity and culture. She feels like this place is very accessible, and it lends itself to being accessible so that learning continues for all students. And once again, feels that this is asked for you to renew the petition because it is a safe place and a helpful place where all staff and personnel have a relationship for the betterment of students.
Good evening. My name is Linda Murray, and I am a proud ACE board member and have been one for many years, since its inception. So I was superintendent of schools in San Jose Unified for 11 years until 2004 when I retired. But I joined the ACE movement shortly thereafter because I believed that ACE could contribute to the success of all students in our community. And I've been really proud, I have to say, and you've heard from a lot of these people who are committed to the mission of ACE. And we believe that together we can create a path to the future for every single student you serve. Thank you for your partnership. I sincerely hope we can continue the spirit of cooperation that we've had throughout the years. And from everything from the facility at Independence to the support of the administration here in accommodating our ACE students. We are grateful, and we want to continue. Manny, it's nice to see you. We've been around for a long time. So thank you very much.
Hello, good evening. My name is Lilybeth Bautista. I am speaking on behalf of a student who could not be here tonight due to him living far away from the school. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And I'm also a school counselor at East Charter High School. So my name is Isaiah Zamudio. I am a 12th grade student at East Charter High School. During my freshman year of high school, I went to Del Mar High School, but I soon realized that something was missing. Although I couldn't quite tell exactly what I was missing although I couldn't quite tell what I was missing due to this, I decided that I wanted to go to ACE Charter High School, since I had already previously gone to ACE Inspire, and all my friends were going to ACE High School. So after spending 3 years here, I've come to realize what sets it apart from all other schools. The community, the way everyone knows each other, and also how I can ask my teachers for help and also trust them. Compared to schools like Del Mar, ACE is a lot smaller in size, which actually helps make it easier for all the students to get the individual attention and help they might need. It's because of this community that I chose to go to ACE, especially since I live an hour away from home. I could have chosen somewhere closer at home, but I decided the hour-long BTA bus ride was worth it because no other school can replicate what ACE has done with the community. This is mainly because despite their sometimes limited resources, the staff all still do their absolute best to make sure that every single student is getting the education they deserve. So yes, ACE might seem small from the outside, but inside, the community is bigger than you could ever imagine. Thank you.
Thank you. And now that we are actually in a formal public hearing process, and so now I will state that public testimony on this matter is now closed.
And Madam
Including-
President,
forgot to hear from my board colleagues. Sorry, I undo that.
I just want to say how proud I am. I'll speak to the ACE community in a moment, but how proud I am of our superintendent and his ability to perfectly understand Spanish. And those of us who speak Spanish know that it's not easy to interpret and translate and what have you. And I'm just awed. Anyway, what a pleasure to hear from all of you today, and the depth of your heart and experience and commitment and what you have created and what you're sustaining. It came across in all of your testimony and with your presence. So I appreciate very much that you're here tonight and what you have to say. Thank you.
I also want to thank everybody for coming tonight and sharing your story, sharing your experience. I was just telling Katie, don't be nervous that we have a full boardroom, having people really making sure that their voice is heard on different issues. I was like, this is community. This is democracy. This is beautiful. So thank you. And a special thanks to some of our parents who had the courage to come up here and speak. And please don't ever apologize. No hay razón que se disculpen por hablar. A lo contrario, gracias por estar aquí y por abogar por sus hijos y su familia y su comunidad. Thank you.
And I will just add, I've always appreciated ACE's commitment to serving students who struggle. Those are the students who are especially near and dear to my heart. So I appreciate that good work. Okay. Now, have I forgotten anything? I just feel like this has been the most awkward public hearing I've ever chaired.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go right ahead.
I also like to say that it's good to see younger generation student to speak tonight, beside parents and administrator or board member. And that's what we like to see from, East Side community. And ACE is a part of East Side. So thank you.
Okay, now I think we're officially done with the open public hearing process for this matter, and we look forward to seeing you in January. Thank you. And now,
It will not affect our recommendation at all if you stay or leave for the rest of the meeting. So,
I was going to say, you're welcome to stay, but please feel free if you have other things to do this evening. We certainly understand and wouldn't blame you if you want to just take a moment to.
I wonder if we can have a 3-minute break while they're vacating the room. Huh?
People aren't going to go away, right?
Huh? No, it's not a break. It's just letting the room empty because it's noisy. That's hard to do, man, what you did. I think it's hard to do. Yeah. I mean, I do fist bumps.
So, David Herrera, and I were founding members.
Oh, is that right? Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Say your name? Ah, okay. It's good to see you. Okay, man.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Looks like I get another shot at this. 9.02 is another public hearing. To receive and sunshine the initial proposal for contract reopeners for 25-26 and 26-27 from Eastside Teachers Association, CTA, and EA to the Eastside Union High School District. Ms. Davis, if you could introduce this item, then we'll open our public hearing after that.
Thank you. So the Eastside Teachers Association is proposing the following areas for negotiations: salaries, articles 26.1 and 26.2 for the 25-26 and the 26-27 school years. The administration is recommending that the board receive, sunshine, and accept any public comment on the initial proposal for contract reopeners for the 2025-2026 and the 2026-2027 school years.
Thank you. So we will now officially hold a public hearing scheduled at, well, it was initially 6:15. It's later than that now. To receive and sunshine the initial proposal for contract reopeners 25-26 and 26-27 from Eastside Teachers Association to, Eastside Union High School District, calling for public speakers. And I see we do have one public speaker, and I'll call Mr. Hamner, Jack Hamner, who is the president. He will have 5 minutes to speak.
Good evening. My name is Jack Hamner. I'm the president of Eastside Teachers Association. Before you stands the ESTA Assembly. We stand here before you united in this message because bargaining over salary is about to begin, as you just heard. Last year's bargaining season ended in disappointment for ESTA, not specifically because of the very low salary increase, but because the board chose to put their trust in superintendents who have a proven track record of not only bad budgeting, but constantly using their poorly constructed projections to claim that higher salary increases aren't possible. The district's actuals from September showed that the 23-24 year ended with a budget surplus of more than $10 million. In March of 2024, in the second interim financial report, feel free to look that up, during negotiations, the district projected $16.7 million budget deficit. The difference between what the district projected in March and the actuals is greater than $26 million. You can look that one up too. Even with everyone claiming that the district couldn't count on additional revenues as in years past, the actual revenues turned out to be greater than they projected by nearly $17 million. Still can look that one up. Moreover, as has been the theme during the last several years, the district also overprojected their expenditures last year by nearly $10 million. This has been a common theme with this administration over the 3 years under the Vandersee administration. When compared to the unaudited actuals, the district has misprojected their adopted June budgets by a total of $90 million. Their first interim December projections by a total of $62 million, and their second interim projection in March by a total of $51 million. Whew. Geez, that's a lot of misprojection. Over these 3 years, the district has added nearly $59 million to their reserve, which now stands at a whopping $118 million, can be looked up in the unaudited actuals that just came out in September. The superintendent regularly upholds the position that our structural deficit will result in the district's inability to hold a 3% minimum reserve in year 3. He has followed in his predecessor's footsteps in continually creating new positions that now cost the district upwards of $20 million a year for policy and programmatic offerings that produce at best no clear indication of shifting outcomes district-wide. You can look that up too. Not laying off staff over the previous 10 years is one thing, but adding newly created positions is another, especially as our enrollment continues to decline. In the last 10 years, we have declined in enrollment by approximately 3,500 students, and in the last 3 years, 1,800 students, and you can look that up too. Board members, we stand here before you now uncomfortable and disliking what we need to point out the various shortcomings of previous decisions made by district leadership. But we do so because you five collectively hold the authority over all important decisions that need to be made. Few decisions are as important as how you invest in those who work directly with our students on a daily basis. That's more than true. These decisions not only keep educators in the field, they send signals to future generations of educational professionals who are weighing options every day as they decide which career they wish to pursue. In other words, to retain and recruit quality teachers. So members of the board, we do not stand before you asking that you simply take our word on this budget. Right? We are asking that you simply not take the superintendent at his either. We're asking that you really engage in open conversations, open your eyes a little more about the district budget and the various services that the said budget prioritizes. Right? And we're asking with cautious optimism that if you find yourself on the fence on which way to go, that you start to give us the benefit of the doubt and invest in those who more than anything else work daily with the students in our district. So thank you for your time.
I would,
Thank you.
Jack Hamner, I would appreciate having a copy of your statement, either, yeah, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Perhaps you could email it to the board, because I think anything that comes, or Mary can maybe make a copy. Mary will make a copy. Thanks. Thank you, Mr. Hamner. And thank you, Esther, for being here. And are there any other comments? Calling for testimony a second time? Calling for testimony a third time? Okay, I will now formally close the public hearing. Thank you. All right, we are now at item 10.01, public comment. Members of the public may address the board on any subject not on tonight's agenda. However, provisions of the Brown Act preclude any action. As an unagendized item, no response is required from the board or district staff, and no action can be taken. However, the board may instruct the superintendent to agendize the item for a future meeting. Any person may address the board on any item on the meeting agenda. Persons wishing to address the board may participate and comment as follows. In-person public comment may be made in person in the meeting room by filling out a public speaker request at the room's entrance. Those forms look like this. When your name is called, please come to the podium and state your name for the record. You may also raise your virtual hand for those participants on Zoom to request to speak and offer comment in real time. Comments should be limited to no more, I'm sorry. You will have 2 minutes to speak. Persons may also fill out a request form online for written comments, which should be limited to no more than 1,000 characters in length. Please reference in your submission the agenda item number for your comment. Your comment will be read out loud as part of the public meeting. And we have a number of speakers for public comment, so I'm going to call 3 at a time. So if please, pardon me, Danielle Cligazo Bustos, Dio Aquinaldo, and Karen Gallegos could please come forward.
Hi, my name is Danielle, and I am a student at Independence High School. And I play softball and girls flag football. I wanted to come support us to help build a new and second field for the girls flag football team, because currently there is too many sports playing at one field, and I get home after 8:30 because we share the field with several teams and the band. Please help us. Thank you.
The next student had to go to practice, so they couldn't come.
Oh, okay.
Or they had to leave, I should say. So Karen Gallegos.
Yeah, go right ahead. Oh, actually, you know what? Now that, how about if I call the next three people so they're ready to go after you speak? So Michelle Sanseri, Lisa Baker, and Anilani Roberts, please. And go ahead.
All right, so good evening. My name's Karen Gallegos, and I'm back. I was here January. I'm a PE teacher at Mount Pleasant High School. As you're all aware, our gymnasiums in the district are essential spaces for PE, school events, assemblies, and athletic competitions. However, during the warmer months, they become almost unbearable to spend time in. The heat is often brutal, making it difficult to focus, participate in activities, and engage fully in school events. It's not just uncomfortable, it can also be unsafe. We know that high temperatures can lead to heat exhaustion or heat stroke, particularly for athletes and students involved in physical activities. It is nearly impossible to keep the gyms cool enough to ensure a safe and healthy environment during the warmer months. On days when the temperatures soar, the gyms become stifling. And, it affects performance, diminishes the overall experience of school events, making it hard to focus during classes, participate in sports, or even enjoy the events that we work so hard to organize. I urge the board to consider the long-term benefits of air conditioning in our school gyms, not only as an investment in comfort, but as an investment in the safety, health, and success of our students. I know that funding, and budgeting are always challenging, but I believe that providing our school communities with the best possible environment to succeed is an issue worth prioritizing. I hope that we can work together to improve our district gyms for all students, staff, and families. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Michelle Sanseri Layton. I am a physical education department chair at Evergreen Valley High School, and I'm a graduate of Silver Creek, class of 1990. In January 25th, a small group of us addressed the board during closed session about the poor state of our physical education and athletic facilities. Patty, you came out to Evergreen, thank you, to walk the facilities with me. And I know some of you also walked facilities at other schools in our district. So thank you for doing that. But here we are in November, and we have not seen any changes yet. We have not heard of any movement of the bond money that is coming down for our we hope for our facilities. The safety and wellness of our school, of our students, staff, parents, and grandparents that come to watch our athletes for competition is important, and we need change. We want to remind you that we don't want to ask school site council for money for each school site. We want the Eastside Union High School District to offer safe facilities for our physical education students during the day and for our athletes in the afternoon and evenings. Please be sure that this money fixes what is necessary in our classrooms. Yes, these are classrooms. We don't want to put easy ups on the pool deck for shelter from the sun for those students that aren't able to swim that day for whatever reason, maybe medical or otherwise. We don't want industrial fans blowing hotter air around our gyms, and we don't want holes being filled every day on our fields. We need permanent solutions. We need that bond money. Thank you for your time.
Good evening. My name is Lisa Baker, and I'm here on behalf of our physical education departments as well as our athletic departments. 5 years ago, I did a walk around to all of the comprehensive sites with district personnel. We witnessed and discussed with the ITLs the state of their facilities. The two areas that have not yet received attention are the grass fields and the HVAC systems. Our students and athletes are not able to use the grass fields due to holes and uneven surface areas. You can go to any site and note that no one is using them. Our physical education students don't use them, nor do our sports teams. Our indoor facilities are also in need of updated HVAC, and no sites have air conditioning except for the classrooms, which is, of course, what we want there. But the areas we ask to move and exercise for our students in extreme weather are just too hot, and there's no safe space for the students to go. Unfortunately, we are having more and more hot days, coupled with the fact that we now start school the first week of August. We are here tonight to ask the district to dedicate bond monies to update our facilities. Classrooms have everything they need, as they should, and it's time to update and improve our facilities that are used from 8:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. on a daily basis. Thank you.
Okay, before you begin, if I could call up Julio Pardo, followed by Victor Ward, followed by Monica Galindo Das, please. Go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Kanoe Lonnie Roberts. I'm a graduate from Piedmont Hills from '92. I'm also the wife of Christopher Roberts, who is on CBOC, and I'm a mom of 5, but 4 have gone through all of our East Side schools here from Evergreen as well as Independence. I've been a teacher over at Independence since 2003. We've had Karen already talk about our HVAC and air, as well as Lisa with the earlier start of our school years and the more spare the air days. We have many people that are coming and going inside of our facilities. And I just wanted to share about a circumstance that took place when I subbed a class. There was a teacher in a classroom that her air was not functioning, and she was displaced to another area. And that was a classroom teacher. Now, our situation, we never get displaced. We have to stay inside of our situation, whether there's air or not. Because we don't have air, it's really unhealthy for the kids and their movement. Lisa alluded to the fields not functioning with holes, mounds, and an unsafe terrain for students to use. So after our displacement from our main weight room, we had the construction of the student union that took place. Prior to that, we had NO1 and NO2 that was constructed, and we were promised to be able to move into NO2 for a weight room. We currently have a weight room that is out of a classroom that normally would hold 25 students in a desk, and we're expected to have 45 students inside of there with a physical weight room. And so these environments are just not safe for students, and it's just not an adequate amount that we can be able to function a quality program in our physical education world. We have charters that now want our facilities, and we have to share with that. That's a really, really big challenge. And then the last thing is that we don't have soap in our PE locker room bathrooms for our students, which is really bad, especially after we've used equipment. They cannot go ahead and come back to the offices to wash up. Thank you for your time.
So just for the public to know, Mr. Pardo is president of the California Education School. What are you, CSEA?
Wow. California School Employees Association.
Thank you.
Julio Pardo.
Senior moment. But I just wanted to point out, you get 5 minutes just because you're the president of the association, okay?
Actually, I'm president of Chapter 187 East Foothills of the association, Julio Pardo. I'm here mostly to just talk about what's happened this past election. So I know it's not official yet, but I'd like to congratulate our 2 incumbents who appear to be coming back to this board. Also, the fact that it looks like the parcel tax is going to pass, which is interesting, very interesting to CSEA, because our contract is going to be negotiated this year, the entire contract. And we just like to remind the board and the superintendent and everyone else that's listening that we've been talking for years about the fact that we are also concerned with the fact that this district has constantly said how we're going to be in deficit, and every year the surplus goes up. Now, this past year, it didn't go up for the first time, I believe. But when they hit $100 million a couple of years ago, that was a little ridiculous to have that much in surplus. So, I mean, those were your own numbers that showed that between 90 and $100 million. So it is our position that we feel that a lot of that money was placed on there because of the non-filling of classified positions. Our custodians are being overworked. Our office staff is being overworked because of the cuts that have been made there since 2008. It took so long for this district to finally agree to bring back the health clerk workers that definitely helped the office staff. We added the extra campus monitor for safety reasons. We're still shorthanded in other areas. We're hoping that we know that and I'm going to say it, we know you're talking about layoffs possibility. We're hoping that this does not have to happen because we are still over 300 positions short from what we were 15 years ago. Over 300 positions short from what we were 15 years ago. So these people have been working extra hard for so long that it's just kind of strange. Now, I was going to come up here and talk about another item, and this is something that has to do with budget again. In going through your agenda, I'll just say item 1303, we have contracts. The way you word it scares me. If you read that, the way you word it makes it look like you're spending something like $12,000 a day for 5 days, or actually $19,000 a day for 5 days per day because of the way it's worded. So either you guys are spending that much money, which is ridiculous, or someone needs to make sure that it's written so that it's more understandable as to exactly what it's talking about. Because when I look at that, if I'm thinking $19,000 a day for a school that has less than 100 students, something is wrong. Thank you.
Thank you. I get my 5 seconds. Okay, so good evening, board, superintendent, members of the community. My name is Victor Ward. I'm here to talk about Competes EDU and Proposition 28, which, as you probably know, reserves 1% of a school's budget for the expansion of the arts program. One of the core arts programs is called Media Arts, which it's an integration of technology and the creative arts. Technology like the cell phone, which is interesting because a couple of months ago, the governor banned or severely limited cell phones on campus. I understand the heart behind it, but there's one way of looking at the cell phone as a toy. There's another way of looking at the cell phone as a tool. And we got a real life experiment with that last week at the election. Everyone says, all the strategists say, that the Democrats had a fantastic ground game. They handed out brochures, while the Republicans took a whole bunch of video clips, posted it on social media, and turned this into a 24/7 marketing tool. I dare say that if the educational system wants to come out on the right side, on the winning side, they need to look at this as the greatest educational tool we have to date. It doesn't mean that we don't need great educators, but this tool can take a blue ribbon educator to a royal blue ribbon educator. What our company does is we are a media arts platform. So you can think TikTok, but it's only for education. No stray posting, no bullying comments, nothing like that. It's just for students to post. It's for students and the community to comment. It's called Competes EDU because it's a competition. I'm out of time, so thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And we have one last speaker, Monica Galindo Das.
This is on? Yes. Okay. Oh, a bit shorter. Okay. Oh, thank you. Okay. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. So my name is Monica Galindo Das. I'm a parent of a 9th grader at Independence High School. My daughter played flag football, and although she had a great experience with the coaches, Miss Binder, Miss Baker, there was the challenge of the second field and also with the football field being shared among like 3 or 4 different groups. So at times, they would get home late like the others, the previous student mentioned that they would get home like after 8:30. So I'm here today to understand how do we get that fixed and how can we advocate for that? And also, the other items that the school needs. So I'm a strong independence supporter and just wanted to voice my concerns and comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that appears to, do we have any online comment or a virtual comment on item 10? No, okay, thank you. All right, we will move along then to item 1101, presentation and or discussion to receive and approve second reading of Senior Manager of Internal Audit proposed annual audit work plan for 24-25. So Kelly Kwong?
Kelly Kwong, District Internal Auditor. We have before you the annual audit work plan. It's the second reading for approval. It was discussed at the audit committee in September.
This is the second reading. So I think at this point, we just need a motion.
Move for approval.
Okay, we have a motion by Chavez, a second by Doe. Katie, how do you vote? Colleagues, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That's all of us. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Appreciate
your work, Kelly.
your good work. Oh, we can share. No, okay. But then we won't hear you. We'll work it out. Mary's on it. Okay, good. 1201, presentation and our discussion regarding attendance best practices. And we'll hear from our superintendent, Teresa Marquez.
Thank you. Good evening, Board Superintendent, Superintendent's Council, and members of the public. Teresa Marquez, Associate Superintendent for Educational Services. Unfortunately, Miriam Adelant, my Director of Student Services, who was prepared to share this presentation with you, was unable to be here at the meeting, so I'm stepping in for her. But also joining me, you will be hearing from one of our parent community and involvement specialists, lead here at the district office, Ms. Blasa Osuna. So I'd like to, and this is a presentation at the request of the board. So I'd like to begin as I begin, and how my team begins all our presentations is just framing and setting the tone for the work that we do. And it starts with understanding and knowing who we are as a district. In particular with the topics such as attendance, it becomes crucial for us to know who we are as a district so that we can understand the importance and the impact of attendance. And so you're very familiar with these demographics. We're a school district of now about 20,000 students, possibly a little bit less than that. You see the demographic breakdown there in terms of race and ethnicity, as well as programmatic designation. And so in order for us to serve this community, we know and we recognize that it is important for us to ensure that we graduate our students college and career ready. And for us, that means that our students are leaving us as is described by the graduate profile. They're communicators, critical thinkers, collaborators, creators, so that they can be productive members of the community. And one of the biggest factors in being able to ensure that we're able to do that is having students attend. And for us, we want to ensure that as we look and we navigate the world of attendance for our students, that we have an obligation. And we have an obligation in particular to removing barriers to attendance that ensures that a student's race, their cultural background, their disability, their gender, their language proficiency, socioeconomic status is not what's going to determine their level of success, in particular, their level of success when it comes to attendance. That, on the contrary, it's what we do as a system, how we respond to our students who are struggling with attendance so that we can ensure that they're graduating college and career ready. And of course, we recognize that in the world of attendance, that in order for us to capture our students, to ensure that they are feeling a sense of belonging and are looking to feel welcomed at their schools, we have to build those equitable communities. And you know this well. For students to want to come to us, we need to make sure that we welcome them as they are. For students and their families to want to engage with us, we have to make sure that we know their areas of strength, because they do come with strengths even as they're navigating and struggling with attendance, that we know their areas of growth, attendance being one of them, so that we know how to best support them. So that ultimately the adults in the system itself can positively respond to the various needs that the students bring, because we know that a lot of the things that are impacting and affecting attendance can be connected to their social emotional well-being or lack thereof, their overall wellness or lack thereof, and their overall need for academics or their lack of accessing their academics. So ultimately, if we have them here, we know that we can get them to engage with tasks that is going to develop their skills so they can find success. The other key piece and importance is that we have to do this collectively. We have to do it as a system so that we ensure that we are putting in place exactly those best practices that are going to function across our system. We know that our sites love their autonomy, and that's great because each of our school sites have their very own personality. But we also know that collectively as a district, if we push together on those best practices, we know that we'll have greater impact on our outcomes, in particular here on our attendance. And the importance of attendance here is particularly this. We know that when students do not engage with us, for whatever reason that it may be, that you start this cycle of disengagement that includes, and it could really start anywhere, All right, thank you for that. Backup mic. We know that it impacts their instruction. We know that then missed instruction can lead to further academic gaps, which then can lead to our students falling academically behind, which then can lead to frustration and a manifestation then of behavior because of those areas. And attendance is at the core and at the key, is a key element of ensuring our student success. So let's look a little bit at just a little snapshot of our data, because I know this really isn't about the data. This is more about giving BLAS an opportunity to share with you some of the work that we've started on particular this school year. But I do just want to point out to you that when we look at our summative data points, and one of those being our chronic absenteeism rate, in 21-22, our chronic absenteeism rate was about 21.2%. A little bit higher than that of the county, but definitely lower than that of the state when you look at comparison of that. And then you could see the listing of our schools for 21-22.
So what you're saying is that of the 93, 94% attendance rate, 21.2%.
So chronic, so
Yeah, I'm not figuring that out.
21.2% of our student enrollment have met the definition or criteria for chronic absenteeism, which is missing, I think it's over 10% of the total school days of instruction.
Oh, I see. Okay. So they are included in, okay, I get it.
Yeah. So this is a very particular student group that has met the criteria of having missed over 10% of their school days. And you could see the different breakdown by schools. This is an item that is included as part of the LCAP, and I'll talk just a little bit about that. And then when you look at 22-23, and again, we're always a year behind, right? And so the 23-24 data isn't out, but the 22-23, which we look down there, is right at 23.9, which is again a little bit higher than the county, but a little bit lower than the state. So 23, an increase from the previous year. And it's interesting because I believe 21-22 was our first year back, maybe, or our second year back from COVID, I think, right? Or first year back from COVID. So just kind of interesting to see just the slight change there and increase into the second year. But this is all well and done, as I've shared with you before, this is summative data. We actually have a system that allows us to look at kind of year to date, how we're going. And so this is our district-wide data. This is still back, this was pulled from still the 23-24, just to give you a full picture, but we now have a system that allows us to look at, on a daily basis, month to month, how are our days looking district-wide? And so here, the yellow represents, just say that's our average daily attendance. This is kind of where we are consistently across our instructional days. The green is good, means that, hey, we actually on these particular days have fewer than average absences, right? So those were good days for us in terms of attendance. And then the red is, hey, what's happening? We had above average absences on these days. And if you notice, most of the reds fall on Mondays and Fridays. And so I imagine that there may be a correlation also to our staff absences that would be interesting for us to see how that correlates when students may know that there's a sub coming or something like that, or an extended weekend. But if you notice, this gives you a really just quick picture as to the days that tend to have above average absences. And for us, at least in 23-24, it was Mondays and Fridays. And then we could also look at it through just a summary in terms of students and how they rank. And so what our new data system allows us to do that is just entirely focused on attendance is look at the percentage of students that fall into what is considered excellent and satisfactory attendance rates. And you could see that about 58% of our students are in that excellent to satisfactory range. And then 42% of our students are in those groups where it could still be manageable, but we could intervene. And I didn't include it in this slide, but it's also important to know that our early warning system data sets also considers attendance. And that's another way for us to be able to track and see, obviously, the correlation between the attendance and the other data indicators, which include behavior and grades. One victory that we'd like to just share is that traditionally when we review our data, we've noticed that from year to year, for whatever reason, there's been a decline after week 5 in our attendance rate. It normally drops. This year, and you'll probably see why, once Plaza comes up, we also actually saw an increase in our week 6, right? And so the trend was that after week 5, we would see a drop, and things change this way. And it's important for you to hear in a minute from Blasa what we believe contributed to that. And then I mentioned this earlier. Of course, we have the data. We have the quantitative data that looks at our attendance, but we also know that attendance isn't just a number. Attendance comes with experiences. Attendance comes with life moments. Attendance comes with barriers in some of our situations. And so I just pulled this one data point from our panorama survey that we conduct every year in the fall and in the spring. And you could see when you look at something like, do our families, do our students feel connected? 55% of our students reported that, yes, they do feel connected. And if you notice, back at the other data point I shared, about 58% of our students had excellent to satisfactory attendance. And so if we're looking at correlation and kind of trying to figure out what's the root cause or how can we better improve our attendance, I think it's important for us to look at this particular piece. Are our students feeling connected to our schools? And then finally, the last piece, it's also important to note that attendance is no one singular aspect of the work we do. It's essentially our bread and butter, right? In a number of different ways. And so we do actually have an attendance goal within our LCAP to make sure that we're honing in and identifying and actually allocating some of our LCAP dollars to ensure that we are doing the best that we can to remove those barriers to attendance, which may include things like transportation support, professional development for our staff to ensure they're creating welcoming and inviting environments for our students to feel connected and engaged, attendance incentive programs, monitoring intervention. And so it's a collective effort that is included as part of our LCAP, as well as our overall efforts as a district. And so at this time, I'd like to turn it over to our parent and community involvement specialist here at the Ed Center, Ms. Blasa Osuna.
Board members, superintendents, and Julio. I cleared the room. So yes, I just wanted to kind of share a little bit of what we've been working on through the summer and at the beginning of the school year that show that significant increase in our attendance at the start of the school year, because that's definitely a feather in our cap, something that we wear very proudly, as you'll see the work that went behind it. So a group of parent community involvement specialists, admin, different role groups and student services team met over the summer and formed an attendance improvement committee. In that committee, we broke into two groups, one focusing on attendance awareness and then the other one on the attendance improvement plan. And so what we did when we started off the school year is we gathered everyone that falls under student services for a professional development day. This was not mandatory, and you'll see that's a very large circle. So we had about 70 staff that signed up to join us that day, and we met with APAs, APTSs, advisors, my team, the parent community involvement specialists, and our campus monitors. And what was beautiful is that we were able to share space and really collaborate. Folks were stopped by schools and asked to work on a variety of things. But before we started, we wanted to really ground us in our work and had our teams reflect on who the first adult that they could remember in school that impacted them, right? And so positively or negatively. And so some of us, speaking for myself, had to think back a little further than some others, but really wanted to, you know, consider and reflect on the adult that made the difference to them that they still remember to this day. And we identified those adults as their champions, as all of our champions. And then we asked the teams to get together and to create what does an Eastside champion look like? And collectively, these 70 people, this is what you see on your right is what they came up with. So an Eastside champion is motivating, welcoming, engaging, empowering, supportive, and caring, but also holds our students accountable and has high expectations. And so that's what our team there decided an Eastside champion looked like. And from there, what we found, we can go to the next one. What we found is that rather than just having us go out and say, this is what you have to do this year, we had members of different teams go up and do the presentations for this team. So for each presentation, we had a parent community involvement specialist team up with an admin. One shared on the attendance awareness campaign, and then the other one shared on the attendance improvement plan, and really shared out all of the work that we've been doing over the summer and kind of setting what our agreements and expectations are for the school year. I was on the attendance awareness campaign, and that's the next one. And it always starts off with an attendance awareness month, which is a nationwide campaign. It's during the month of September. Traditionally, we used to start school in September, but we really held on to that month of September because that is when numbers start to go down. And so, you know, like me and my fitness plans, after a little bit, I'm off to a good start and then I kind of wear off, right? So we said, why not just stick to September? It's a great reminder. And so what we asked all of our teams to do is to go back and create lunchtime activities. So every Friday, like reflecting back when school was fun, the things that you like to do, the joy, bringing back those childhood memories and the, you know, just the joy that students feel, and they see that in their staff, right? So we asked, who are the champions? Get everyone involved. Don't just have the ASB groups do it. Get all the clubs involved. Get all of the students involved. Get teachers involved. And you'll see a little bit more of how involved our teachers got. And then our community-based organizations, pull them in, because everything works better when it's from the, you know, the ground up and from the top down. Everyone is saying that attendance matters, then that's the message that they get. And in light of all of the budget talks, who's funding the fund? It did not come out of Eastside Union High School District's money. This came out of School Link Services. They did provide some funding for some of the incentive items that you'll see. I mean, the way to our kids' hearts is through food. And Otter Pops are nice and cheap, and they go a long way, especially if you remember how hot September was, right? And so then our CBOs came out and did hot Cheetos. Those are a huge hit too. Pizza, they would just offer different incentives for our students. And you'll see a little bit later too, what really incentivized our students is seeing their admin and their staff putting themselves out there. So that's a little bit of what we asked. If we go to the next slide, this is what it looked like. Each student in our district received a passport, and they had to hold on to it for the whole month. And each Friday, when your school held your activity, you came out and got your passport stamped, and then they submitted at the very end for that coveted Otter Pop or whatever prize the schools came up with. And so during those lunchtime activities, they all looked a little bit different. The CBOs hosted activities. They did competitions, just really simple, no-cost games that they could do. They used it as an opportunity to come out and meet your counselor. You can get your passport stamp. You just have to come out and say hi to your counselor. And so it was a great way to introduce their counselor to the students, some who had never seen them before, right? So it's just a great way to introduce the staff to the different students. The next group, the next committee didn't have as much fun as we did, but it's not all fun and games. Sometimes it doesn't work. And so how do we support our students that need to improve their attendance, right? As they start to wear off. And so we came up with this attendance improvement plan, which is really just a way to check in one-on-one with students. Every school gets to decide who they're targeting for the AIPs. We did suggest after a second letter. The second letter is what classifies a student as habitually truant. And so just a one-on-one meeting, and again, with one of your Eastside champion. And so it could be your PSIS, advisors, social workers, admin. This list is split up between everyone that was at that first meeting. And it's just a one-on-one check and it's to discuss what are your barriers? How can we support you? What are some goals you have? What a commitment are you going to make? And this is the commitment I'm going to make to you. And then they schedule a follow-up meeting to check on progress, to discuss setbacks, but also to celebrate successes, right? That's so important. So finally, our staff was asked to wear their Eastside Union High School District Champion for All Students shirts every Friday. And they mostly did. And then they just had, these are just various staff from different sites. My partner Natalie and I went out to every school through the month of September and recorded videos, took pictures. And let me tell you, I don't know who got more competitive, the students or the staff, because we would share out, when we were sharing out our attendance data every week, at the beginning of the week, we would share out the video. And they're like, hey, you come to our school next week. We have something fun planned too. So the staff got really competitive. My husband actually asked me, how did you get all the staff to do what you're about to see in the video? And I said, no, they loved it. They just loved it. It was just fun. And I reflect when I was on a school campus, when I would see our principal out there having fun, the joy on the kids' face to see the adults not take themselves so seriously and have fun with them. You're gonna see that. And that's really what it was about, was the fun. I think we turned the sound off. There is sound to it. So what I did was I just combined all the videos into one. And so when the music changes, that's just a new week. If anyone wants to press play, we can press play.
We all like that.
So we had our kickoff on August 30th, which was a Friday. And that was just our way to introduce and it's sped up. So don't mind the, oh, there's. Our CBO highlighted as well. And then we pulled in our administrators to remind us of our attendance slogan. Attendance matters. On time. All day. Every day. On time. This is just what kickoff looked like at the school sites. Different sites held different events. And we really literally ran around from site to site. You'll see the CBOs here involved at YB. Hosted these events. We saw earlier Mount Pleasant did their counselor meet and greet. The Independence also did a meet and greet. High school did classroom competition and also awarded their perfect attendance students. Some of our schools made photo props, so we just ran around taking pictures with the photo props that the students all used and we highlighted. Each one had a wall, attendance wall, so you had to sign your commitment to be on time all day, every day. They did a trivia, attendance trivia. You had to answer a question and you got your otter pop or your snack. Valero did also games competitions at the principal out there doing water balloon toss. Silver Creek did a deal or no deal game day with their counseling department. And then Phoenix High School made ice cream floats. And then this was the reward for reaching their goal. Ice bucket challenge on the road. And overfell. Eye in the face at Independence High School. Bucket challenge at Yerba High School. And so that's just a taste of what our September looked like. We had a blast, absolute blast, but the rewards that we got from doing these activities, you saw in our attendance rate, we saw in behavior data. And to the point that some of our schools are just going to continue to do their Fun Friday for the rest of the school year because they saw such a drastic change in their campus.
Yeah, I think, yeah, it gets so long, yeah. Thank you. So you see that the work that our student services team, led by our parent community development specialist, is really targeting the efforts to, yes, improve attendance, but improve attendance through connections, right? Do our students feel a sense of belonging, and do they feel that they can connect and that there is a caring adult? Because each and every student, each and every day, by name and by need, is how we have to make sure that we improve our outcomes. So thank you. We'll take questions if you have them.
Really great. Thank you so much. The video was worth the price of admission. Colleagues, any questions? Katie, go ahead.
Oh, no. Oh, thank you. I just wanted to make a comment because I go to Independence and I remember the Fridays and the like pieing the teachers and all that. And I definitely think that it brought a lot of engagement to our school because my last 3 years we didn't have things like that. And I remember it was like there's like the senior stage area where nobody really went to, but I remember going out in my class every Friday and seeing like music and people out there with tents and booths. So it was really nice to start off the year that way. I did have one question because I noticed in the slides where there was like the calendar and it showed that attendance kind of dropped towards the end of the year. Is there a way for like that campaign to be pushed out towards the end again as well?
Our committee is attendance awareness committee. We changed it from attendance awareness month to the attendance awareness campaign. And so there'll be a different focus for every month for the rest of the school year. We tend to see a lot of drops in December, right around the holidays. So we're amping this all back up in December. So go to your senior stage. Maybe you'll see some fun in December too. Great question.
You go ahead. Oh.
I have a question relating to the some of the attendance that the student might have severe illness. We still categorize them in the whole, group of attendance or missed classes. So are those students who have to catch up, with the school or with their program or with their homework, but they still get the ATA, or only for those kids that miss the class just because they don't want to go to school or they have something much more that they have in mind than those severe illness?
Yeah, so our students with severe illnesses, we have our home hospital instruction program. And so if a student is, for medical reasons, unable to attend for extended periods of time, we do have other alternative programs for our students where we capture attendance based on work completion. And that could also be an ISP program. But for those students that have an illness, and we do have students that have medical situations that require, that are, make it unable for them to be at school, we do have home hospital instruction where they receive their instruction that way. And so they're not counted as part of the regular attendance for the comprehensive high school. Their attendance is calculated differently. Yeah.
And that right there, that situation is why chronic absenteeism was created and used as a data point, because chronic absenteeism captures excused or unexcused. And our focus previously, I've been doing attendance for a long time in our district, was always the unexcused. And we were missing the students that their parents were just calling them in sick every day because they had a chronic illness, right? And so through that chronic absenteeism rate, we're able to focus in on those students, and with the AIP plans, find out these situations are going on and talk to them about home hospital as an option.
I noticed that close to holidays, parents used to take the kids out because they have a long trip or whatever they plan. So when the parent notice, the school administrator that, we take the kids out for extra 2-3 days or, a week, whatever. So how do we calculate that into the attendance?
So if they don't let us know, it's an absence, right? So it is reported whether it's excused or not. It's and there's very few things that are actually excused, right, by ed code and by attendance. But what we've tried to communicate with our parents is, one, this is the school calendar. It is important for your children to attend and for you to plan your vacations during the actual time off. Now, in those instances where it's an emergency and they do have to travel for whatever reason, we have short-term independent studies where we're able to still capture the attendance based, again, on work completion of those students. Short-term independent studies is for no more than 15 days, but that is an appropriate use of it to support our families who, for emergency reasons or for circumstances beyond their control, they need that extended few days for travel or whatever it may be.
So I have.
So you said the short-term
independent studies
is for up to 15 days?
Correct.
Wow. Do you feel like most of our families know about that?
No. Yeah. And to be honest with you, we try not to publicize.
That makes, yeah, understood. That makes sense.
It's kind of that individual plan, right? When we see and the parents come and the community involvement specialist engage with the family and the family says, I'm going to need to take my, in those instances, we do that because we want our students to attend during the times that they're expected to attend. And so we don't do a lot of publicizing of it. We use it more on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking of it with my board hat on, like that's a great way to recoup ADA, right? If people can sign up for independent studies as opposed to just be gone for 3 weeks, right?
Yeah, and we try to capture them through, now that we have this more on-time, real-time data, we're able to start capturing more, to Blasa's point, around those attendance individual plans. And also to just the communication. I know that a lot of our principals do put not necessarily short-term independence, but they put out reminders like, hey, holidays are coming. Please let us know if you have travel plans that are going to extend beyond the vacation. They kind of have figured out how to word it so that they can kind of break. Please call us, come and talk to us so we can support you.
Yeah, now that those absences are bubbling up on a daily basis, people can reach out and have those meaningful conversations one-on-one with parents and things.
Yep,
That's great.
absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. Colleagues, anything else?
Yeah, and those champion shirts have become a very coveted item. Yes. You have to earn it.
You signed the oath. You signed
You,
the oath.
you signed the oath about being a champion for all students, and we can get you one.
Yes.
Thank you, board members. Appreciate it.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on now to 1202, discussion and or action to receive and adopt the second reading of proposed amendments to board policies in alignment with special education as follows. 0430, 5145.9, 6159, 6164.4, and 6164.5, including a proposed deletion of Board Policy 4112.23, shared teaching assignments. And this is a second reading, so I don't know that we need a presentation, just a motion.
Second.
I understand. I have a motion by Chavez, a second by Herrera. Katie, how do you vote? Colleagues, all in favor? Aye. Okay, thank you. All right, 1303, discussion and or action to receive and adopt the second reading of proposed amendments to Board Policy 5022, student and family privacy rights. Again, this is a second reading, so I'm just looking for a motion. Moved by Doe, second by Herrera. Katie, how do you vote? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, that passes unanimously. 1301, discussion and or action to adopt resolution 2425-10, continued funding application. That's a CFA, and contract renewal of California State Preschool with the California Department of Education for the 25-26 school year. And just to remind our listeners that this is a pass-through from the state, so the district no longer directly runs preschool programs, but we still are in contract with the state, and so we just subcontract those services. So I think we just need a motion here. Okay, motion by Doe, second by Lay. Katie, how do you vote? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, that passes unanimously. 1302 is related, discussion and or action. Okay, so, all right, one is preschool program, the other one is child care and development program with the California Department of Social Services for the 25-26 school year. Again, I'm just looking for a motion. Okay, motion by Doe, second by Lay. Katie, how do you vote? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, that passes unanimously also. 1303 is discussion and or action to approve the contracts for professional services over 25,000 and
Move for
before.
approval.
Okay, I'll take your motion by Herrera, second by Doe. But I do want to raise the point that Mr. Pardo made in his comments to clarify. There is a contract with the City Peace Project. Let's see, serving this, I think that's the one, yeah, serving the students at Phoenix High School. And it says $96,000 to receive 5 days of services. I'm assuming that means 5 days a week
Correct, I was
for
going
a
to say that.
school year.
Correct, so it's
Okay.
182 days total.
Okay, thank you. Just
It's
to
5 days
clarify.
per week, so there was an error on the memo there.
Otherwise, very expensive program. Okay, so with that clarified, we have a motion by Herrera, second by Doe, is that right? Well, someone got it.
Oh,
Okay,
well done.
Katie, how do you vote? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, that passes. Mary has it, right? Who moved and who seconded on the 1303? That's whatever it is, it's fine, as long as you have it. Okay, nothing under 1501, discussion and or action to approve the award of bids and requests for proposals for bond capital projects. Moved by Doe, second by Chavez. Katie, how do you vote? All in favor? Aye. That was everybody. Okay, thank you. That's Unanimous. 1502, discussion and or action to approve the bond capital project contracts over 50,000. Moved by Doe, second by Lay. Katie, how do you vote? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, that's everyone. Now we are at the consent calendar and there is one item that we need to pull from consent. And that's item 1805, number 6, which is a MOU with Teach for America. And
Yeah,
we're
can I make
getting you a
a-
microphone.
Yeah,
Yep.
can I? Oh, sure.
Okay. All right.
Can I,
Hold-
can I? Can you
We're
get-
gonna do her part first
Yeah,
and then
can
we'll
I
do,
just
we'll
say
move the
why we're
consent.
pulling- Okay, so
Yeah.
this item includes, to Patty's point, a proposed partnership between the district and Teach for America. And this is to disclose publicly that I am employed with Teach for America, which is a nonprofit, as the vice president. And I'm asking that this disclosure be included in the official minutes of the meeting and the official records of the district to comply with state and conflict of roles interest. I will recuse myself from any consideration, discussion, and action regarding the proposed partnership with Teach for America, and will leave the room to allow board to consider the proposed contract outside of my presence. So if we could just.
Okay, so go ahead. Okay, I just, thank you. I need a motion on item 1805, number 6, with the MOU with TFA. Okay. Moved by Doe, second by Lay. Katie, how do you vote? Okay, all in favor? Aye. All right, thank you. Oh. All right, now I'm just looking for a motion for the rest of the consent calendar. Someone's gonna have to flip a coin. I don't know who that was. Okay, moved by Herrera, second by Doe. Katie, how do you vote on the consent calendar? Okay, all in favor of the consent calendar? Aye. Thank you. All right. Let's see. Now we are on item 2101, written reports. We do have a written report, 2102, supports and services for pregnant and parenting students. So that's available. I think that was on my request. Thank you for providing that. Another report on magnet programs, the Green Academy, that's available for our review as well. Okay, moving ahead to 2202, future items. Is anyone requesting items for future agenda?
I like to have the presentation on special ed program. I want to have we done any presentation for special ed? I don't know, it's been a while.
We've done multiple presentations that included our special ed population, right? So when we talk about our data points and our LCAT plan, we do speak to the special ed population as part of that. But we have not done like an overview of the services that we provide.
Yeah, could we do one just only for special ed and all of those support, you know, in a program that we support our student under special ed?
We can take a look at that.
All right, thank you.
I also like to request, for the conversation, public comment earlier from a member of the public regarding the field at various different school. If we can kindly have an understanding, not only for ourselves on the board, but the member of the public and our staff, to have understanding of some of the plan that we already have in place. Maybe they may not know what they're making schedules, how much maybe costs associated with some of these potential subjective, potential expenditures involving in some of these projects that people may have in mind. So that would give us, yeah. Yes. Yes, I'm asking for a little wider scoping, is allowing the public to have that so that they can comment on it, not just a report to us, not a written report, but because sometimes we get them as a written report.
He's
and
saying it's a future item.
We'll add your comments into that future item. Or yours.
Even better. Just so I can wrestle with Mario. That would make.
It's a piggyback. Okay. Very good. Moving on now to board comments. So I will start to my left and we'll move across the way here. Trustee Chavez?
I was just gonna say no, thanks, no thanks. We're not gonna meet till after Thanksgiving, right? So I just want to take a moment to just say thank you, everybody, our whole East Side community, for all the hard work that we're doing. I know it's really hard in schools, especially in this moment in time where people are very tired and we, keep on going for our kids. So just thank you. We see you. Hope you have a restorative Thanksgiving break.
All right. I have a couple of things that I want to mention is I attend, I believe in the end of September for the Vietnamese American Experience Conference, was hosted by Santa Clara County Education, collaborated with Orange County Department. I know that Associate Superintendent Teresa Marcus was there. I think it's very interesting and I learned a lot from that conference. Second thing, I want to say that I received ESTA check for 8,000 for McKinney-Vento. So give it to a superintendent. And I like to know that if any site provide some gift basket or a meal for the student, if you can let me know so I can let the community member know, so they like to see, they like to attend. Like, all of those years that we have it at the district, now we have it at each site. And one last thing is I want to say that a student from East Side, I believe in Silver Creek, won a speech contest from the Rotary Club. And this is the Rotary District. And we're very proud of it. And I believe that Rotary member Nick Leon will send something to superintendent. They want to recognize that student at the next board meeting. So that's all I have. And I think it's congratulations for one of the students who spoke today, that they really step up. And we want to hear everyone. Thank you for all of this hard work from administrator, staff, teachers that really help our students and enjoy Thanksgiving holidays.
Member Doe?
No comment.
Member Herrera?
No comment, thank you.
I would just like to take a moment to thank our community for Measure N. That was a colossal gift to us. And we really appreciate the community's faith in us as a team, and their willingness to invest in our students. That's I'm practically speechless about it. It's just so powerful. So thank you once again, Eastside community, for your generosity and trust. Katie, you're next.
You. So on the comments made earlier on the facilities of our school, I just wanted to reiterate that for students in sports and PE, the conditions are very dangerous and not suitable for being active, as many of my peers have told me over the past few months. There are concerns, and I felt the need to continue this conversation just because many all 9th and 10th graders are required to take PE, and many are involved in sports as well. And at Indy and Piedmont's gym, the AC tends to blow warm air instead of cold air, which is very detrimental on very hot days. I hope that this is referenced in the master plan, but I do think that this needs to be fixed soon. I'm not sure what the cost and funding is like, but I think it does need to be addressed district-wide because players are getting injured from holes on the field and people pass out on hot days after activities in the gym. And I just hope this is fixed before more students get hurt.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent.
Thank you. I'd like to echo your thanks to our community, and also want to thank you all for taking a bit of a calculated risk on the parcel task, but in voting to go for that. As you know, it polled under passing, but we felt that the need for the resources for the district going forward, and so the fact that right now I think it's at 72.5. Well beyond the passage rate and well beyond what it polled. I want to thank those that worked outside of the district on their own time to work towards that number. But I truly think it's more a reflection of that our community values this work and values its students. And I want to thank the community for that. I also want to thank our partnering with Telemundo. This is pretty cool in that the next 4 weeks, they'll be hosting, I believe it's every Saturday night, a show specifically or program specifically dedicated towards the steps for families to plan for college, applying for college, getting the funding for college, and moving beyond high school with the plan. And so it'll be run weekly. And I want to thank Ed Services and our great counseling SAC that worked closely with Telemundo. And we'll get the word went out today to our families, and we'll be hoping and we'll be in the board update, but also we'll be continuing to get this message out to our community so they can educate themselves as a family at home, you know, from the TV. So a great partnership with that. So thank you all. And I got to say it one more time, the Spartan Eastside Promise, our seniors got to get that application in before November 30th to take advantage of the Spartan Eastside Promise. So please make sure you're doing that. Freshmen, sophomores, juniors, please know that GPA, is the one they look at, is all the way, you know, that last semester in their junior year. So let's get that 2.5 GPA and pass those A through G courses. Thank you all.
Fantastic. Okay, we have one more item of business to deal with in closed session this evening, and we will have a report out from that. But in order to not keep our legal counsel tied up all night, can we get a report out on the closed session from before the open session?
Yes, we can. Closed session item 2.02. The board, after motion by member Doe, second by member Herrera, the board unanimously approves the stipulated expulsion agreement for student 24-25-001. There are no other reportable actions at this time. Thank you.
Okay, so at this time, we will again recess to closed session, and we will report out following closed session the results of that. Okay, returning from closed session, reporting out on item 2.03, public employee performance evaluation, superintendent's evaluation, reporting a positive evaluation for this period, and that concludes our meeting for November 14th.